limited contact information, business organization.
Right.
We're going to ask who have been their top 3 clients, what have been the last 3 or 5 projects they've worked on. If they haven't worked on a project, that doesn't mean, or if they've never done business with a general contractor before, that doesn't mean they can't do business with us. It just means that the subguard limit we approve them for, which is equal to the amount they can bid to us, is, maybe smaller than a contractor who has done work with another competitor.
And what's that range for the subguard bonding? What's the range? Does it start as low as $10,000, or where does it start?
Yeah, it can start at $10,000. So being a general contractor, we're doing work as little as $10,000. So tenant improvements for Dodger Stadium,
right,
as well as $1 billion, which is our current contract at LAX. So that really gives us the flexibility of being able to assess small businesses as they come to us.
Right.
I will say that one of the things that with everything I'm saying, and I know preaching to the choir, but, with the trainings we have, we want to make sure that we're creating very transparent communication channels. And I've been really surprised that when I tell businesses that we do work as little as $10,000, you would figure that would really kind of ignite them to submit a pre-qual much quicker.
Right.
But I can't get why that's not the case.
Right.
And so I don't know if it's, if it's the scariness of being a big general contractor, or perhaps I think small businesses tend to sabotage themselves. I think that they don't really give themselves the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And coming from a small business myself, I remember talking to clients like Kaiser and Turner, and it was so intimidating to talk to these folks.
Right.
But there's an assurance that comes when you're able to have a valid conversation, and where you get to learn whether that potential client is a feasible client or not.
Right, exactly.
I mean, there's so much clarity. I would much rather have someone tell me, no, you're not, you're not ready, versus trying to figure that out myself. Well, am I ready?
Right,
No, I'm not ready. I don't have all this stuff. How are they going to classify me? Maybe my subguard limit's going to be too little. I mean, so they almost strike themselves out.
I think they're overwhelmed. I think just especially the non-construction businesses are not quite sure how they fit in the greater picture. And then the construction ones, if they're small, because there was a young lady we were at a round table meeting in Inglewood, and she's like, I didn't know I could do that. So a lot of it is just lack of knowledge.
Right.
It's not when they go into the construction business, they're telling you as a small business that you can play where the big boys play, or you can even contract with them. A lot of people don't know that.
Well, most small businesses, when they hear about a construction firm like PCL, they're thinking, oh, it's all about construction. There's no professional services in there. There's no janitorial services. There's none of those other things. So they're thinking that's the only trades that's available. So that's why they get intimidated.
Yeah.
The next reason they get intimidated is the fact that they've been reaching out to many of these other small prime contractors who just blow them off.
Yeah.
So they're thinking, oh, maybe PCL is going to do the same thing.
I find myself debunking that myth.
Yes.
Yeah, I talked about debunking myths, and I find myself doing that. And what I hope, here's sort of my objective. I hope that I'm not the person doing that anymore, but that another small business is saying PCL's not like that.
Right,
if
exactly.
other GCs have disappointed you, or if you've tried with other GCs, I would really like the small business community really to vouch for PCL for doing the right thing.
Right.
And I think that for now, it's about really building that reputation of being a contractor who is not just looking to diversify who we do business with, but really being inclusive.
Right, exactly.
And so I do find that very often where, contractors specialty trade contractors are just kind of saturated.
Right.
I will also mention that PCL as a GC, there are other services that we procure. I mean, suppliers and vendors and also consultants in quality, construction management, surveying, geotechnical.
Right.
Those are services that are available.
And those are all on your website, right?
That we procure. We do make information available on our website. I would encourage, to contact me directly.
And what's your number? What's your contact number?
My contact information is 213-800-4100. My email is Priscilla, so P, N as in Nancy, Chavez, CHAVEZ @PCL.com. And I'm only saying that because being a large entity as we are, our website is a little bit challenging to navigate.
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of stuff on your website.
Yeah,
Do you want to give us your phone number again, Priscilla?
Absolutely, 213-800-4100.
Okay, perfect.
I'm also on LinkedIn, and my contact information is public on LinkedIn.
Maybe we can do. In fact, when you met us last week, I guess we were having a meeting with Steve Turner, and we were talking about maybe a small expo that those of us that can actually hands-on help businesses that we feel could be in that space, or at least getting them ready, but bringing certain GCs together that are inclusive friendly.
And I think it would be perfect.
Would that be something that we could do together? Because one, we're getting our businesses prepared for it, so it could be a prelim to what you guys are looking for, and then there could be some there that are already ready.
Yeah.
To go, and then we could have that conversation with you, and then we're all in, maybe small. Maybe it doesn't have to be big, huge expo, but maybe more of a mastermind think tank kind of sort of.
Absolutely.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think for me personally, I think for talking on behalf of PCL, it would be great to kind of hear in a small setting, what are some of those sort of myths, but also what are some of those perceptions of. I'm sure we're not the only GC experiencing this, and this sort of I think response. And so I think being in a small setting allows us to really just kind of understand each other, get to know each other, and that's really important. Because I think
it starts with a relationship, right?
Absolutely. It doesn't just start with the relationship. I mean, it is all about the relationship. People do business with people they like.
Right.
And I know, contractors, and we talked about this, not everyone is an entrepreneur.
Right.
They're a contractor and they know how to build stuff and that sell. They're not, they don't know all the aspects of running a business. But really there's so much opportunity if you're able really to empower small businesses with that key of being able to create and maintain, but also flourish relationships.
Well, part of what we're doing here at the Business Zone is to continue to build and develop small businesses, to get them business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. And once we get them to that level, then we can hand them over to companies like yourselves, and also the Turners, the Clark, the Hansel Phelps, and all of those major primes, so they can see that we're actually building quality small businesses.
Right, because they're out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and honestly, a lot of them just need a little bit of hand-holding.
Yes.
Or sometimes I've found myself with, I've helped, I'd say, hundreds of businesses in my career. And a lot of them, it's just really being their cheerleader.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, I'm not doing anything except for saying, come on, you can do it. I'm like that mom on the sideline.
We do the same thing here.
Right, exactly.
But that has so much value.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell you really quickly about this one experience with a concrete sub-trade contractor. And I remember sitting down with him, and with my former employer, I was helping small businesses get pre-qualified with who are now my competitors. And I met him at his office, his back office behind his house.
Right.
And as I sat with him doing the pre-quals, you know what he said? He said, I have never in my business career, like running my own business, I've never had anyone sit with me and actually walk me through how to do this.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And so it really just kind of opened my eyes, and I think just really made me see that if that's his experience, there's going to be so many other businesses whose experience is the same. And he has capital, you know, he has bonding, but it's just, he just needed that extra push.
Right, exactly.
Or that extra, you know, cheerleading, for lack of a better word.
And I think what we just talked, I think they're just a little, they're not sure that they can do that. First of all, some of them have never even heard subcontracting.
Right.
They're thinking that I have to be a prime, but they're not ready to be a prime. Or one of the young ladies that was at our subcontracting workshop yesterday, and she made the comment. She goes, she got subcontracted with Metro. I mean, she got certified with Metro, and then she goes, and then right behind that, they sent me a RFP. She goes, oh my God, I'm not ready for this. And so then she just went into a shake because the time frame was so short.
Right.
She had she got it the last week in October. Yep. And then November 1st, they wanted it completed. And there was another young lady there, same thing. They got the proposal, and they're like, what am I supposed to do with this?
But what does that tell you, though? It tells you that these agencies, municipalities, and us as GCs, I mean, those opportunities are there.
Yes.
So once you really follow the process,
right,
it's like heaven's gates. I mean, you know, there's access to all these opportunities, but I really think it's just a matter of doing the process. And, you know, it's really an investment.
Yes.
I mean, I know that would a contractor rather do the pre-qual with my company or fix the roofing on their neighbor's house for $500?
Right. They'd rather do your business.
No, they'd rather do the roofing.
Yeah, because they don't have to go through the pre-qual.
And it's immediate payment.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think that as we think about long-term gratification, though, that looks a lot different.
Right.
And
this is a phenomenal conversation. I really would love us to have some more time that we could talk about this, but unfortunately, we're going to have to try to see if we can book Priscilla again and bring her in so we can get share some more of this information with our population. But again, you're on the Business Zone. This is Gilbert Buchanan, the small business paramedic, along with Crystal Mitchell. And you have any parting words you want to share with our population, Priscilla, before you go?
Yeah, I think the last thing I'd say is, you know, we're finishing off 2016, and already there's a construction boom. I think with, needless to say, whatever political party you were in agreement with all the ballot measures that got approved earlier this week, we're looking at, I think, $15 billion of construction that we're going to foresee, I think, just here in California.
Wow.
And so even though that's a very high-end number, I think that municipalities, agencies, general contractors across the board are making a commitment of inclusivity.
Right.
And whether we want to or not, I'm going to be honest, it's really a matter of supply and demand.
Right.
Yes.
There's going to be too much demand and very little supply.
Right.
So who's going to step up? And so I just want to encourage the small businesses that are watching us. If that's you, if you need a cheerleader, I gave you my contact information. Feel free to call me, say, hey, you know, I really just need, can you be my fan?
And
I'll be your fan.
Right.
And again, Priscilla's number is 213-800-4100. That's 213-800-4100. And just so you know, Priscilla, before you leave, this group that just came in here is a group that Crystal and we just trained and got ready over at Mount Sac. So they're bookkeepers.
Awesome.
So if many of your contractors, subcontractors are looking, just don't hesitate to reach out to Crystal or myself, and
Absolutely.
The program.
So we can get the word out.
It was an 11-week program, and we taught them how to become bookkeepers, and so now we're looking for employment for them. So they're entry level. And it's an amazing program. This is our fifth cohort. We do it with LACO, LA County Office of Education, and Mount Sac, and we've had 95% placement. For the previous cohorts.
She's phenomenal.
I know.
She doesn't like to toot her horn, but she's phenomenal. She's done a great job with them. So,
Yeah.
but we got to run.
So before we do that, maybe we can talk for next year for 2017, and we'll talk what we can do together, so we can help each other.
We want to bring you back.
Yeah, and also we want to do some sort of think tank, whatever it is, so we can get the message out.
Would be open to that. I'm on Twitter too, so handle at Priscilla Chav.
Okay.
And also want to thank you, Crystal and Gilbert, for having me. Deep appreciation. Thank you for putting this together, because seriously, there's so many resources out there, and to have two of the best in the industry is really, really an amazing thing for our small businesses.
Thank you, and we'll definitely have you back again.
Thank you, Priscilla.
Thank you.
So we're going to go ahead and take a break right now so we can get set up for our next guest. But this is the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, and we're going to take a break right now.
Okay.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready,